everyone, it's Tori, and it's been a minute since I filmed a YouTube video, and I thought this is a perfect topic to talk about today. We're going to talk about what in the world is Clubhouse. You may have heard about it from social media or from people around you, but I just wanted to let you know with my personal experience what it is and what some pros and cons maybe be of the application. So first of all, if you are brand new here, hello, welcome. I'm a small business owner. This channel really focuses on transparency with money and running a small business. And I work together with my husband, partner, and best friend Bill, running our small business, which is selling vintage and modern clothing, as well as some handcrafted items. And you can find all that information by going to girlygrrlstyle.com. But this video, again, is going to be talking about Clubhouse. And so I heard about Clubhouse. I saw someone posting it. They posted something about it, and I was like, what is this? What does this mean, Clubhouse? And y'all know me, I want in on the new technology. I jump on all of the new social apps. Right now TikTok is doing really well for me. I'm having so much fun over there, and I really have been enjoying it. And, I still love my Instagram and I still love my YouTube. So I'm open to trying new things. And so when I got an invitation to join Clubhouse, I was really excited. And thanks to Nally, by the way, shout out to my girl there. So I got on and immediately it was a little overwhelming. So if you're still saying, well, okay, what is it? It's an app. It's in beta right now, which means that they're just rolling it out in very small amounts so that they can test it and tweak it and figure out what's going to work for the platform. That's why it's invitation only right now. So this application, what it is, it's kind of like panels, if that makes any sense. It's like going to a conference. This is the experience I've had. When you go to a conference, like, do you remember when we used to go to conferences like PoshFest 2019, where you would go to different rooms and you would hear panelists speak, and then you could raise your hand and ask questions. You could interact with people next to you, those type of things. You make contacts, you get business cards, and it's that kind of feeling. And how it works is and right now, if you don't have an invitation, they're only giving us a limited amount of invitations, by the way, just like a couple. You can earn more. The more you're active on there, the bigger you are. They will give you more invitations to give. Other thing about invitations, if you invite somebody and they break the rules, or the code of conduct or whatever it is, you will also be removed from the platform. So people are being a little bit more reluctant with who they give these invitations to, because the platform wants people that are going to follow the rules and actually promote the platform the way that they want it to be. So, you get in right now. Oh, and where I was going with that, you can download the Clubhouse app. It is for iOS only, so it is Apple only right now, but you can reserve your username. So I would say get in there if you're interested in getting onto this application, reserve your name. So then that way, when they do open it up to the masses, even if you haven't had an invitation, you'll be able to secure that name, especially if you're a business and you want to make sure that you have that across platforms. So you get into the app, right? Let's say someone sends you the invitation, you log in, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, where do I go? At the very top, there's going to be it's kind of like a status bar. And remember, this is all in beta. So this is probably going to change when this rolls out in its full form. But at the top, it gives you a few different things that you can choose from. You can choose for events that are recommended for you. And in fact, when you first get in the app, it tells you, hey, choose some of these categories that represent you, that you want to see more about. So you can really curate it to what those topics are you want to hear about and participate in. But you can also filter it by upcoming events that you are hosting. So that's the other thing. If you are someone who has a lot of knowledge around something and you want to share this knowledge, you can start a room. You don't have to be a celebrity. You don't have to be famous. You don't have to be, on YouTube because there's no picture. So I know a lot of you have been very reluctant about doing YouTube or showing your face on Instagram, and you don't have to do that on Clubhouse. It's kind of like listening to a podcast, but it's live and it's interactive. So You can choose, again, your areas of interest. You can search, you can find different people that have similar tastes to you, or interests that you do. Also with this, you can expand your knowledge. There's so many different cross-industry people and celebrities and experts that are out there. But of course with that, you're going to have a lot of people that are self-proclaimed experts. So you're still trying to figure out if this person has a room and there's only 2 people listening to them, are they an expert? But it doesn't mean that they're invalid. It just means that you still have to do some vetting of the people you're listening to. But the best thing I found is the conversations. I have not been listening to a lot of reseller conversations. I've listened to a few, and there are a lot of resellers that are on this application, so you can find out some really cool things. But I have been looking at more things around growing social media and around imposter syndrome. In fact, I hosted a session about imposter syndrome, and I invited a few really amazing women up to speak on the panel. And there were a lot of people there. I was really surprised because it was my very first panel that I hosted, and I was so worried no one was going to show up, like throwing a party and no one's there. But there were a lot of people there. There were a lot of questions asked. And essentially, and just to give you a personal example from running a few rooms, you start a room. What happens is the invitation goes to anyone that follows you. The panelists join, so you're all at the top. And then when you're there, anyone can unmute themselves and they can talk, and then the listeners in the room get to listen as well. Also, this is one of my favorite features right now, and I hope they don't change this. I don't think they will. But you can click out of the application and still listen to it. So for me, that's huge, because if I'm listening to, let's say, Spotify, and I click out to go take a video, it shuts down. And there's probably some tricks around that. Or if I'm watching YouTube and I shut out of YouTube, I don't have Pro, so it shuts down. But this is really just a listening app, or raise your hand and contribute. And you can, you move to the audience, and there's a little bit of nuanced things to it. But like I said, you can click out of it. So what they've done is everyone has a bio. When you first create your account, there's a little bio, and it's huge. With Instagram, your bio is like this big. With TikTok, it's even smaller. So you can't add all of that information in there. But with this, you can put what your specialties are, where your interests are, where your website is, where your store is. I mean, all of these really cool different pieces. So your bio is right there. And in the bio, you can link to Instagram and I think Twitter. I don't remember. You can link somewhere. My Instagram won't link. There's a bug. Something's happening, but I did put it in the bio. But while you're watching these panels, you click on their face. You click on their icon, right? That's there. And then you can actually follow them right there. Click on Instagram. Go research them on Instagram and follow them there as well. So this is a huge networking tool. The opportunity to network is going to be amazing. So lots of positivity there. Those are the things that I really, really like. Also that there are lots of voices. And I've heard a few people say recently that they find the voices available on this application very white-centric. Very, straight men and women centric. And I'm telling you, I haven't had that experience, but it's also because when I first signed up for the application, I made sure to choose those diverse areas. So that's what is showing up in my suggested feed. So I'm joining panels that are so interesting with, people of color and different areas of focus. And it's very cool. It's very cool. And I'm feeling very connected to these different groups. The cons though. So, listening to it, you can get really addicted. And I will tell you, the first 2 days that I was on it, I spent all day, the first 2 days hosting panels, being on panels, listening to panels. It was so addicting because it's new, and there is FOMO because nothing is recorded. That is a pro, but it's also a con because there's nothing recorded. You know, all these great conversations that are happening, once the room is closed or once it's over, it's done. And there is built into the standards and practices is the fact that you cannot record a session unless you have explicit consent from every person that spoke on the panel. So I did sit in on a getting started with Clubhouse session. They do a lot of them. For people that are new to the application. And that was something that they said. There was also an ask from the community to record sessions. So they're considering that as they're building out the application. I can see a benefit to that, especially if you are a podcaster and you're hosting these sessions and you have really great communication and interaction and you want to put it on your podcast, well, if you can get everyone's explicit consent and you could download it directly from the app, how cool would that be? I think it would be fantastic. Other cons, I actually did hear, and I saw from another person, and I'm not going to give away their information, again, to protect privacy, but they were actually being recorded. So not with consent, but without consent, they were taking what they said and then they were putting it other places to make them look like they said something that they didn't, out of context, as it were. So those things can happen. I mean, they can happen with YouTube and Instagram, and I mean, they can happen all the time anyway, but that's definitely something to be mindful of. So it's fun. And I know those of you that are still looking at the app and wondering, you know, oh, I wish I got an invitation, or I really have no clue what it is, or I even don't care what it is. Just, you know, if you are interested, just be patient because they will open it up with all kinds of technology. So it was funny. My husband, so Bill, has done some beta testing for video games before. And it is interesting because it's similar to that. You're trying to pressure test, you're trying to see what you can break and what you can fix, and then getting feedback to make it the best that it can be. So right now, I'm enjoying it, but I also have, since the first couple of days, I really pulled back. I am really trying to focus more on content that's going to help me be more successful in my life, and not so much the reseller content because, you know, it's kind of the same things we've heard the same over and over again. So that is my experience so far with Clubhouse. Let me know in the comments if you are on Clubhouse or if you have more questions about it. Pop those down below. Again, let's connect. Let's find out more about this really cool app, and hopefully you learned a little bit about what's going on over there, especially with the reseller community. So that's it, everybody. Oh, if you like the content, you know, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more amazing reseller related content. And that's it. Until next time, see ya!